More than 2 million people traveled through U.S. airports on Sunday. That was more than triple last year's numbers and about 80% of the 2019 levels. That was Father's Day, of course. And that rebound in airline travel is reflected in the airline stocks. American, Delta, United, all more than doubled from their March 2020 lows. But investors are starting to sell on the news. All of the stocks are down 5% or more so far in June. And now a sudden wave of unruly passenger incidents is making for unfriendly skies. 3,100 reports of bad behavior by travelers so far this year. Let's bring in Phil LeBeau for more. I assume, Phil, that a lot of this has to do with mask wearing.
It does, Tyler. 75% of the cases that have been reported from the airlines to the FAA involve passengers who have said, we're not going to wear our masks. And those cases are at the core of more than $500 million worth of fines that have been proposed by the FAA. $563,000 worth of fines so far, $500,000, I should say, in total fines. The 75% of the passenger cases involve people not wanting to wear masks. And for the FAA, the real concern here is that they have seen a surge in physical assaults, particularly of crew members, 60 cases where crew members have been assaulted. And when we talked with the head of the FAA this morning, he said, for him, as a former pilot, those stats are particularly scary.
It's really important for everyone to understand that, as a former commercial airline captain, if I'm flying the airplane, you don't want me distracted by situations in the back of the aircraft. So, we have zero tolerance for these issues. We are reaching out to the public in different ways through your show and through social media.
Here's one of the ways the FAA is reaching out. Starting on social media, this is one of several memes that they're putting out, basically trying to say to the public, don't act like a jerk when you're on a plane. Don't physically assault people. If you're told to do something, you do it. Those are the rules. If you're not going to follow the rules, the plane will be diverted. You will be taken off. You will be charged ultimately, potentially fined several $1,000s, more than $10,000, $15,000, depending on how egregious the violation. Take a look at the passenger levels. They have been trending higher, as you mentioned, Tyler. We are now down anywhere between 25 and 30%, depending on the day. On the weekend, down maybe 20% compared to 2019 levels. Go on a slower weekday, it's down probably 30% compared to 2019.
That looks like the sinus rhythm of my heart there, that chart. But be that as it may, I don't mean to defend people who are behaving badly. And there was that shocking video of the woman who punched a flight attendant, drawing blood. It was a vicious assault. But some passengers may well be confused or feel that the airlines are not on the right side when the CDC and others have said, well, you really don't
bring up a great point.
You really don't need to wear a mask. And those mask mandates have come down in state after state. And so, people don't want to be told what they have to do. So,
Tyler, you bring up a great point, and I hear this from people all the time. The only thing I would say is the rules are the rules that have been set by the FAA, which is following CDC guidelines. Now, whether or not those should be changed, that's a separate conversation. For the airlines, their feeling is we are told these are the rules, we must enforce these rules. And as a result, for the flight crews, when they are telling people, look, you have to wear your masks, they are expecting people to comply. Are people always complying? I've been on flights where I've seen people who haven't worn masks. And when the flight attendant comes by and says, put on your mask, most of the time people do it. The issue here is that you have some cases, not a lot, but enough that it's a concern where it escalates beyond that, where people are like, I'm not only not going to wear my mask, if you come near me, I'm going to haul off and punch you.
Yes. That's where it gets very ugly very fast, and people feel stressed. And the thing, I suspect that there will be a change in policy somewhere along the line, sometime in the not too distant future. Phil, thank you.